According to Romans chapter 12, once again, you're supposed to submit and surrender to the governing authorities. It says that they dedicate their full time to governing. It says that they don't bear the sword without reason. It says they're essentially that they're there to punish evil and wickedness, according to Romans chapter 12, which to me begs a couple of questions. I guess I'll boil it down to one question. When it comes to the American Revolution, were the Americans sinful in their rebellion against England? Because according to Romans 12, they would be, for not surrendering and submitting to the authority at the time. Once again, Romans 12, submit to authority, submit to the government because they don't bear the sword without reason. So if that's the case, that the entire American Revolution was sinful, then that would explain why the Puritans of the Northeast were so puritanical. That would explain why the North won. You could even say that explains why the country's in turmoil. But stop and think about that for a second. In Romans 12, it says you're supposed to surrender to the authorities and you're not supposed to rebel. Well, my ancestors rebelled. Right? As a matter of fact, my ancestors rebelled twice. My ancestors rebelled twice. First in the Revolutionary War, and secondly in the American Civil War. So I suppose I, and perhaps you, are a descendant of rebels against government authority, a government authority which was established by Romans 12. So stop and think about that for a second. Maybe the Northeast Puritans are right, but also maybe the Loyalists were right. Maybe the Patriots, maybe the entirety of American patriotism is wrong because of Romans 12. Now you could say, oh, well, Americans won and they established their own government. Okay, I can understand that. But just stop and think Romans 12 says to surrender to the authorities. Unless I'm missing a verse that says it's okay to rebel against the evil, to me, Romans 12, maybe the entire American tradition is wrong.